Welcome to Risefuel, where underdogs rise, justice wins, and every story reminds you, no one stays powerless forever. If you love courtroom twists, neighborhood drama, and real feeling battles for what's right, you're in the right place. She slammed her car door so hard the sound echoed through the whole street. Then she marched straight toward me, red-faced and furious. "You can't live here," she yelled, waving a stack of papers like a weapon. I hadn't even finished unloading my boxes yet. I turned slowly, holding a framed photo of my late wife in one hand. "Excuse me," I said, trying to stay calm. She shoved the papers closer. "This neighborhood is under HOA control. Your paint color, your mailbox, your fence, all of it needs approval. And this," she pointed at my front yard, "this is not approved." I almost laughed. "I think you've got the wrong house. This property's not part of your HOA." Her eyes narrowed. "Not part? That's impossible. All homes here follow my rules." I could see her hands trembling, but not from fear. It was the kind of anger that comes from losing control. "I bought this place last week," I said, setting the photo down gently. "It's outside the HOA border. You can check the county records if you want." She froze for a second, then smirked. "Oh, I'll check. And when I do, you'll regret trying to cheat the system." Then she stormed off, heels clicking like gunshots down the pavement. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. That was just the first warning. Because the next morning, I woke up to a bright orange notice stuck to my door, stamped "Eviction Notice" in bold red letters. I stood on my porch, half asleep, staring at the fake eviction notice like it was a bad joke. It had no official seal, no legal signature, just a bold header that read, "Issued by HOA Compliance." And at the bottom, her name, signed in all caps, "Karen Hawthorne, President." I tore it off slowly, feeling the paper crunch in my hand. My neighbor, old Mr. Davis from across the street, was watering his lawn. He looked over and said quietly, "She pulled the same stunt on the family before you. Drove them out in 3 weeks." "Not this time," I muttered. Before I could say more, a white SUV pulled up. Karen stepped out again, phone already recording. "You're being documented for non-compliance," she snapped. "Your porch furniture violates HOA standards. You'll be fined and removed if you refuse to cooperate." I took a deep breath. "Karen, I told you yesterday, my property isn't part of your HOA. The county line cuts off right before my driveway." She smiled, that fake sweet kind. "That's what you think. But I've already contacted the board. We'll have the sheriff here soon." I tilted my head, trying not to laugh. "You mean your friend from the HOA patrol? The one with the golf cart and fake badge?" Her face twisted. "Watch your mouth. You're trespassing in a restricted community." That word, trespassing, hit differently. I'd heard it before, years ago, when I was stationed overseas and someone tried to seize our outpost. I didn't fight then for a flag, or medals, I fought for what was mine. I stepped closer, calm but firm. "Karen, I know the law better than you think. You're playing a dangerous game." She took a step back, glaring. "You'll see who wins, soldier boy." The way she said that made me freeze. She knew. Somehow she knew about my past, something I never told anyone here. And that's when I realized, someone was feeding her information about me. That night, I barely slept. Every sound outside made me glance toward the window. Around 2 a.m., a car engine idled near my driveway. I peeked through the blinds and saw Karen's SUV again, parked with the lights off. She was talking to 2 men. Both wore black jackets with the word "security" printed on the back, though the letters looked ironed on, not official. One of them placed something on my fence gate, then they drove off quietly. At sunrise, I went to check. A shiny new metal sign hung crookedly on my fence, private property, managed by Hawthorne HOA Security Division. I laughed under my breath. She was doubling down. But when I reached for the sign, a voice called out. "Touch that, and you'll be fined for tampering with HOA property." Karen stood on the sidewalk, coffee mug in one hand, her phone recording again. Her voice was loud enough for half the block to hear. I turned to face her. "You put a fake security notice on my fence. That's trespassing." She grinned. "No, that's enforcement. You're living on restricted land. It's all under HOA control now." "Really?" I said, taking my phone out slowly. "Then maybe you won't mind if I show this footage to the county office. They love fake enforcement claims." Her face twitched for a moment, but she hid it behind a smile. "You think you're smart. But I've got people who back me up." Before I could answer, a police cruiser turned the corner. Karen waved it down like she'd been waiting for it. The officer stepped out, tall, calm, mid-40s. "Officer, arrest him," Karen barked. "He's violating HOA boundaries and threatening me." The officer looked at me, then back at her. "Ma'am, do you have proof this house falls under your jurisdiction?" She hesitated, pulling out the same fake document she'd waved earlier. The officer skimmed it, frowned, then handed it back. "This isn't a legal HOA notice. And as far as county records show, this property's independent." Karen's face went pale. "That can't be right." The officer nodded toward me. "He's in the clear. But ma'am, if you keep posting unauthorized signs or false notices, you could face charges." Karen didn't speak. She just stood there trembling, her nails digging into the mug until it cracked. She left without a word. But as I watched her drive off, I noticed something strange. One of her security guys was still parked at the corner, staring at my house. And in his hand was a radio. The next morning, I found muddy footprints leading up my porch. Someone had been there again, only this time, they'd tried the door. A small scratch near the lock made it clear. I checked the security footage from my hidden cameras, the ones Karen didn't know about. There they were, her two security men walking around my yard, taking pictures, one of them whispering something into his radio. At one point, Karen's SUV headlights flashed twice, like a signal. That was enough. I wasn't going to play defense anymore. I grabbed my files, the original property deed, and the county land division map, and drove straight to the sheriff's office. The same officer from before recognized me. "Back again?" he asked. I nodded. "This time, I've got proof she's running her own fake HOA security." We watched the footage together. His face went stone serious halfway through. He paused the video at the moment one of the men placed a trespass sticker on my door. "These guys aren't on any licensed security roster," he said. "They're impersonating law enforcement." He called for backup. Within the hour, 2 patrol cars followed me back home. When we arrived, Karen was in her driveway with the same 2 men. She looked shocked when she saw the real deputies step out. "Karen Hawthorne," the sheriff said firmly, "we have evidence that you and your associates have been trespassing, filing false legal documents, and impersonating officers." Her smile cracked instantly. "That's ridiculous. I was protecting the neighborhood." The sheriff held up his phone, showing her the paused security footage. "Protecting? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like harassment." The taller deputy stepped forward. "Ma'am, please put your phone down." Karen's hands shook. "You can't do this. I run this community." "No," I said quietly, stepping closer. "You run an HOA, and my home isn't part of it." She turned toward me, eyes wild. "You think you're special? You think the rules don't apply to you?" "I think freedom does," I said. The sheriff motioned to his team. Within seconds, her 2 fake guards were cuffed and placed in the back of a cruiser. Karen kept yelling, insisting it was a mistake, until the sheriff finally said, "Ma'am, you're under arrest for filing fraudulent notices and impersonating an authority." The street fell silent. Neighbors peeked through curtains. Some even stepped outside, watching the woman who had tormented them for years finally face consequences. As they drove her away, I stood on my porch. The orange eviction notice still lay crumpled in my trash bin. The sun hit the sign she'd nailed to my fence, and I pulled it down for good. Later that evening, Mr. Davis came by with a smile. Didn't think anyone could finally stand up to her. I shrugged, sipping my coffee. I didn't fight for this country to be told I can't live in my own home. He chuckled softly. Welcome to the neighborhood, son. It's about time someone reminded her what freedom means. I looked across the quiet street, the same place that had started with threats and fake rules. Now, it finally felt like mine. And for the first time since I moved in, it actually felt like home. Thanks for watching another RiseFuel original. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one. And remember, true power isn't in revenge, it's in rising above.